Well, guys, things was kind of getting a little crazy between the Caitlin Clark fans going at Raven Johnson because of the Indiana Fever picked Raven Johnson at number 10 in the 2026 WNBA draft. And a lot of people weighed in. A lot of people had things to say. They took some shots at Raven Johnson. Also, they took shots at the Indiana Fever's front office trying to see why would they select Raven Johnson? They could have selected somebody else. And Raven Johnson's former teammate with South Carolina, currently Indiana Fever star player Aliyah Boston, weighed in on it. And she fired some shots at these Caitlin Clark fans. You are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sapp. For today, man, we got to talk about it, man. Aliyah Boston comes out swinging. She fires shots at these Caitlin Clark fans on this whole Raven Johnson situation. We're going to talk about it right after this. Well, guys, man, Aliyah Boston, man, the highest paid WNBA player in the W, man, she fired some shots at these Caitlin Clark fans on the selection of the Indiana Fever's pick to select Raven Johnson, number 10. And Aliyah Boston came to the defense of her ex-college teammate, Raven Johnson. She's trying to let these Caitlin Clark fans know, and y'all need to chill, man. Y'all need to stand down. Y'all need to steadfast, man. And Aliyah Boston, she was kind of pissed off, man, when the whole situation came up about these fans, trying to create this fake beef between players and things like that. And we've always said that fans create these beefs, these fictional beefs, and these narratives about these players disliking each other and creating these narratives and people running with it. And Aliyah Boston, she kind of shut all that down, man. She had some things to say about everything that's going on because of the Indiana Fever selected Raven Johnson, the number 10 pick for the Indiana Fever, knowing the history that Raven Johnson and Caitlin Clark have going back to their college days. And a lot of these Caitlin Clark fans, they have said some derogatory things toward Raven Johnson, which is unfair. Raven Johnson has nothing to do with this. Raven Johnson is living a dream. She was selected in the WNBA. Now people are trying to slander her because the Indiana Fever picked her. And it seems like all these Caitlin Clark fans are basing it around, we got to do everything in our willpower to help Caitlin Clark and to have this narrative that Caitlin Clark is the best thing since sliced bread. They didn't want Raven Johnson because Raven Johnson is a proven point guard that don't turn the ball over. And a lot of these Caitlin Clark fans say that, that's going to take the ball out of Caitlin Clark's hand. Caitlin Clark needs the ball. Just give the ball to Caitlin Clark and everybody else get out the way. So these Caitlin Clark fans are crashing out. And Aliyah Boston, she weighed in on the situation, man. And she has some things to say about things that have been unfolding through the media and through the YouTube content creation space. And Aliyah Boston, she voiced her opinion and she fired shots at these Caitlin Clark fans, letting them know, man, it's time to pipe down. Let's take a look at this article. Caitlin Clark and Raven Johnson rivalry addressed by Aliyah Boston in a new video with Candace Parker. Now, Indiana Fever forward Aliyah Boston addressed new teammates Caitlin Clark and Raven Johnson being former college rivalries on Wednesday. Then she went off the point and said, it's so funny because these fans always have more beef than the players actually do. So it's always entertaining. You read all this stuff and fans are hating on one person, hating on another, and you're playing with that said person. Boston told former WNBA star Candace Parker on their podcast, Post Move Podcast, I think it's going to be fine. Everyone here has their thoughts, but when you're in the gym and you're ready to hoop, that's literally all it is. And she said, I can't wait to hear about the practice. Candace Parker's waiting for the first Indiana Fever practice with Raven Johnson and, Caitlin Clark. The Fever selected Raven Johnson with the number 10 pick overall in the 2026 WNBA draft on Monday. She spent the entire college career with the South Carolina, facing off against Caitlin Clark during her tenure at Iowa multiple times. In the Final Four of the 2023 NCAA Women's Tournament, Clark waved off Johnson, and she was wide open behind the arc and allowed her to shoot an uncontested three. 3 years ago, Caitlin Clark, Raven Johnson were on opposite ends of one of the college basketball's most talked about moments. Caitlin Clark waved it off. Now you see the picture. How's it going? So basically, Aliyah Boston is letting everybody know everything is going to be fine, man. So y'all need to back off of it. And basically, she's saying that it's these fans that be creating the drama. The fans create all the drama between said player. Like I've always said, they creating these fake beef between players that really don't exist. They keep the drama up. They keep the narratives going. And if you don't bite into their narrative, then they want to call you a hater and things like that. But Aliyah Boston, she's firing shots at all you Caitlin Clark fans that are really not Indiana Fever fans. So I'm glad that Aliyah Boston came. Beef ain't no beef, man. People just making it a beef, man. I don't think Raven has no problem with Caitlin. I don't think Caitlin has no problem with Raven. It's just two players being competitive. This stuff happened in the college days in 2023. It's now 2026. It's time to move forward. They are teammates, and Indiana is doing everything to build a squad around Caitlin Clark. But people are upset because Caitlin Clark is a point guard that they say that needs the ball. She's a floor generator. She makes everybody around her better. But I beg to differ. There's other point guards that can do the same thing that Caitlin Clark can do. If you're talking about the logo threes, I've seen it before with Sabrina Ionescu. Paige Beckers has a more complete game than Caitlin Clark. That's my own personal opinion. Everybody has their opinion that Caitlin Clark is the best point guard that they ever seen in women's basketball. And we can debate that all day long. And the crazy thing about it is the Indiana Fever went on a run when Caitlin Clark was injured last year. They almost damn near made it to the finals, man. They was very competitive. They went on a deep playoff run. And we seen how Stephanie White orchestrated that offense, man. And with Raven Johnson, she's a proven point guard that she don't turn the ball over. She's improved on a three-point shot. She plays gritty defense, and that's what you're going to need to win games. You're going to need to, get stops on the other end. So I'm glad that Aliyah Boston finally stepped up and came to the forefront and defended her ex-teammate, now her new teammate, in Raven Johnson against these Caitlin Clark fans. So Caitlin Clark fans, man, y'all need to pipe it down, man. Y'all heard what y'all's girl Aliyah Boston said. Now y'all probably going to come out hating on Aliyah Boston for what she said, telling y'all guys to chill out. Y'all making up this fake beef, man. Y'all putting players against each other, and it ain't even like that, man. So you got to be very cognizant of what you say because, like y'all all say, man, people are watching you and people see the things that you say. And some of these athletes watch too. And that's why I think Aliyah Boston came out and said what she had to say, because she's getting tired of all this rigmarole that these Caitlin Clark fans are spearing toward her new teammate in Raven Johnson. And that goes to show that these are just Caitlin Clark fans. They're not Indiana Fever fans. They're not WNBA fans. They're just Caitlin Clark fans. Stop slandering other athletes because it's not your said player and that's not your favorite player. So kudos to Aliyah Boston. 2 thumbs up for that. Y'all get down in the comments section and let me know what y'all think about today's video. I see everybody in the comments section. Hashtag salute. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Turn your post notifications on so you know every time something drops another banger. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Droppin' podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.